Hi, it's Kyle Carberline, a truck and RV sales consultant with Bluegrass International in Georgetown, Kentucky. I'm actually getting ready to go to the airport to pick up the owners of this coach, but we recently did some research and kind of doing some testing with a new camera option that gives you some new features, a dedicated screen, and so I just wanted to do a quick video showing you what we did. That way, if you have any interest in doing something similar yourselves, I'm happy to show you, how we did it, or we'd be happy to do installs for people as well. But here, I'll do a quick walk around on this RV and show you the camera install we did. So on the fender, we actually replaced the entire camera system. So we replaced all the cameras that are on the unit, the side view and the rear, and actually added an additional front camera. One of the reasons we replaced those cameras, this is a 1080p system. It's high quality, but not so high quality. It's not unmanageable for the system to render that footage for you to see. But one of the reasons we went to this is it is a nice aluminum housed casing around that camera. It is extremely adjustable, so you can loosen these screws and we can adjust the angle of the camera up and down, side to side, to get the view that the customer wants. And then on top of that, there are a lot more infrared lights in this camera versus the stock unit on a Renegade, which allows for a much better night vision. And so then we'll walk around to the front here, and what we decided to do is we mounted a forward-facing camera right here above the bumper. And what's really neat, and you also can see on this, we've got tons of infrareds again as well, just to help with that night vision. And what's really neat about this camera system we installed is it has the ability to record. So not only does it records all 4 channels. So if you are, want to have that footage of from the side and the front in case of an incident on the road, or in my case, I've had 2 in my motorhome. I've had 2 instances where I had a guy trying to steal bicycles off the back of my RV. I'd be able to see that in the camera and have it recorded. And then I had a truck driver clip my tow car, which just luckily it was just the roof rack, so it wasn't a big deal. But I had a truck driver clip my roof rack bar on my tow car in a truck stop. So it'd be nice to have that footage, because obviously when I got out, the truck driver was like, "I didn't hit your car." I'm like, "Oh yes you did." Here's the other camera that we put on the other fender. The one thing I can say about these, they are a little bit bigger. I mean, as far as their footprint on the fender, but in turn they do more and function better. And then we'll walk real quick here to the back. And then we also replaced the camera up top. Once again, it's a different camera. It's got a lot more infrared lights for better night vision, so that just the functionality when you're driving at night. And then I'll stop this for a second and we'll go in and look at the actual screen itself. So I've actually, we did all this research, the team here at Bluegrass. We ordered in a camera system. We kind of mocked it up. We hooked it up to 12 volt, really without installing it, just to see how it would compare to a stock camera on a Renegade, outside, and just to see. And we were very happy with the results. I mean, all my research basically turned into the fact that not only would I install this for customers, I put the exact same camera system on my motorhome. For me, the big point is having the ability to record all 4 sides of my RV, so that if I am in a situation at a Cracker Barrel where somebody messes with my RV, instead of me running outside, I can look at the camera screen and see what's going on. And so what I did when I did mine is I actually wired my camera system into a 12 volt switch and not through the ignition. And the reason for that is so that I can just turn the camera on as I want to. So if I have my RV parked and I don't have my key in the ignition, then I can just turn my camera system on and leave it on. So if I go in somewhere to a restaurant or to a shop, or I'm gone and I just feel like I wouldn't want to be able to record around my RV, I can, and the key doesn't have to be in the ignition. And this customer really liked that idea, and that's what we did on his unit. And so obviously we could put switches in multiple places for customers, but I'll show you what we did for this guy. So the thought that we had as far as putting in a 12 volt switch to activate the camera system was, I'm getting out of my motorhome and I want to leave my camera system on or be able to turn it off. So you step down out of the RV, down the steps, and then I can easily reach under here and we have a button that we can push, which lights up and then powers up the camera system up top. So here's the actual screen. What's really nice about this screen, and now this is in a Freightliner M2 102 Plus cab, and so the way that we mounted it to hang is a little bit different than what we have been doing in some of the other cabs. So we were able to put in a ram mount track just flush up here and put a ball mount, and then the ball mount mounts right onto the back of the screen. So super easy install as far as being able to mount the camera screen and just being able to kind of move it in the direction you want for view when you're driving. And what's really neat about where we put it is right behind it is the Freightliner collision mitigation system. So we're really not losing like windshield because there's already something on the windshield in that spot. So it's really just a nice place to put the camera system. Right now I've got it showing like all 4 cameras. So here's your front facing camera, your rear camera, your left side view, and your right side view. And they're flashing red, which means all 4 cameras are currently recording. Now if you want to go into the menu, of course you can hit these buttons and you can switch through some of the cameras to have them up on your screen full time. Like for example, if you want to have your if you want to have your rear camera up the whole time, you can, or all 4 screens, just depends. We'll go back to where it shows all 4. Now you hit the mode button to turn off record function, and then once you have the record function off, you can go into the actual menu. And then, so for example, I can go over here into view. I believe you hit, nope, yep, you hit mode. So we go over here, where am I at? The split. So in the split, you hit mode, and then you can actually pick, do you want all, for your main screen, do you want all 4 cameras? Do you want channels 1 and 2 down the middle with 3 and 4 on left and right? Do you want channel 1? Get timed out. But if you want, however you want, there's several layouts for how you want the screen to show your different camera feeds. On my unit, I probably wouldn't be too concerned about always having my forward facing going. So I'd probably have like my left and right and my rear always showing. And then, so super simple. Obviously, date and stuff, information. We can go into playback, the playback, and then go into the split, to change the different ways that the screen shows. And then, of course, the system itself with some of the system options. For example, on the recording, you can tell it to record in 1-minute increments or 3-minute increments per channel. And then as far as playback, we can go into playback. We'd say, okay, channel 1 is the camera that I want to look at. And then you can go back and see all the videos that have been recorded, and just go back and play those. And let's see, we'll go back. For example, if I click this one, it'll play back that video. So, still learning some of the button stuff, but it's really, I did that pretty quick, even with you guys watching. The, the one thing I will say about camera systems in general is, you've got your Garmin unit down here, and of course, factory from Renegade, your camera systems show up there. I'm not a big fan. I think you should break the camera system out of the dash. The reason I say that is you're traveling somewhere, you're using it for navigation, and every time you flip left and right turn signal, the camera pops up, and now you lost navigation function. And by the way, this is tied into the triggers for left turn, right turn, and reverse. So while you're driving, it will flip to the left camera when you're driving. It'll flip to the right camera while you're driving, or flip to reverse. And then there's some people that don't like triggers. You can deactivate those triggers, or we don't even have to wire them in. So that kind of shows you the camera system. And something that really cool I thought we did, we put a lot of time and energy into it to make sure that we don't want customers to be guinea pigs. So we spent a lot of time making sure we liked the camera system, that it mounted well. The screen's super light, so like I've driven this RV, it doesn't bounce all over the place while you're driving. It stays nice and stable. And of course, with that RAM mount setup, it's easy to adjust kind of how you want it. If you're in the RV and you're recording outside, just so you have a way to kind of almost like a surveillance system while you're parked, I could easily turn this and face it straight back, so I could look up here and see what's going on my cameras. Once again, my name's Kyle Coberline. I'm a truck and RV sales consultant with Bluegrass International. I really appreciate you watching one of my videos. I'm all about doing the right thing by the customer, that build a good name and reputation. That's just how I like to operate. And so giving out this kind of stuff like these camera feeds or anything else we do, places I go camping, super helpful. I do appreciate if people like, subscribe, and comment on my videos that I do. Let me know what I could do better, what I'm doing well, and always happy to help. Thanks again.